everyone. In this video I'm just going to open up the SQL Server Management Studio and log in and just poke around a little bit and show you the lay of the land and also show you how to change your password. And then in later videos we'll start creating some tables and talking about some more specific things. So here's my computer. Actually, let me just go into all programs here so you can see a little bit about my installation. I actually have, let's see, I have a couple of instances, couple of versions of SQL Server installed on this machine. So that's going to, I mean, it's not a huge deal, and you're probably only going to have one. But I want to bring this up later as I'm logging in and show you that you have choices. You might have choices when you're logging into the server. So I'm going to drill down into here. This is the one that you will have, the newer version, the 2012. So I'm going to open up that. And we're always going to be opening the SQL Server Management Studio. That's our GUI tool that we're going to use to interact with the database in this class. So I'm going to launch that. Okay, and the first time you launch yours, it's not necessarily going to look like this. You are going to have to type the connection string, and by now this has been provided to you either in class or via email, but you'll have the login information. You're going to have to type exactly this, making sure, for example, I know this might be hard to see, but make sure you use a backslash, and this is a comma here. Okay, that comma needs to be there, so you're going to very carefully type that in. And then you're going to type in your student login, it's your student and then some number. I'm going to log in as student 20, and if that's you, I mean at the time of this video I know that nobody's student 20, but you might be student 20 and that's fine. But basically I'm going to type student 20 and then the password that's been given. Hang on here. Okay, before I connect, I just want to let's clarify a couple of things. The way I'm connecting now, I'm logging in remotely to a version of SQL Server, a SQL Server instance that's located on campus in a closet somewhere in the T building at Moraine Valley, okay? And you have that server and your own little database on that server to be your playground, basically, for this class. You have another option, okay? If you don't want to log in remotely, like there is a slight delay, for example, if you're working remotely, because the commands have to go back and forth over the internet. If you really rather just do everything on your home PC, like working in isolation, I would call it, you can do that, but you would have to pull this down. And you see, once you install this, install SQL Server, either the Express Edition or the full edition that you can also get for free through Moraine. That's related to my video recording software. That's not going to happen to you. So once you install SQL Server, you'll probably see these choices. If you don't see those choices, either one of these, SQL Server Express or your PC, do you remember I showed you in my start menu I have a couple of versions. That's why I have all these choices. But you can do Browse for More and then drill down into Database Engine, and you'll see probably one or the other of these. So then you can work remotely. Okay, notice the password, login, the username and password is dimmed out. Okay, you can use Windows authentication, meaning if you're logged into Windows, it's fine. You're going to sail right in. So that's an option for you. I think I would prefer at this time that you use the Moraine server just to get, because it's a more realistic environment. It's because in the real world you are going to have a server probably locked up in a closet somewhere, and clients are logging in remotely. So the Moraine setup is a much more realistic scenario than you working in isolation. Okay, so I'm going to type the password here and connect. Okay, the first thing I'll do, I'm going to drill down over here into the databases, all right? And if I'm logged in as student 20, for example, database 20 is my playground, okay? Notice if I try to go into another one, it stops me in my tracks. So your login is specific to that database, and then you're kind of shut out of everybody else's database. You will see, for example, this Alcove Books. That's like one of our, pardon me, one of our exercise databases that'll come into play later. And so I have a read-only version of that. The whole class can access that. And there are other ones as well. There's an eBay database. So these will come into play later on, but for the most part, you're going to do most of your work in your own little personal database, okay? Right now there are no tables in there, but we'll create tables in later videos. Last thing I want to do in this video is show you how to change your password, okay, which I recommend you do. All right, so let's see. I'm going to drill down into security, all right, and I'm going to drill down into logins, okay, and you only have permissions to work on your own password and change your own user properties. So I'm logged in as student 20. I'm going to right-click student 20 properties, okay, and this is where I would type the new password. Okay, and then you have to confirm it. All right, now I'm going to click OK. Now the password has been changed. Now this is interesting. Watch me try to go into the student 20 tables, for example. Let me try to do something like create a new table. It's telling me failed to connect. So if you change that password, you're going to have to get out and reconnect using that new password. And this is how you do it. And you'll probably be doing this quite a bit. Do you see me up here? I'm clicking this disconnect button, okay? And then the one next to it is the connect, all right? And here I am at the same place. So I'm going to log in here with the new password. Okay, and now I'm back in. All right. So in the next video, we'll start working on some tables.